It's the Soul Fantasy Show, Soul Fan Show. Hey, it's the Soul Fantasy Show live for June 16th, 2020. Going over the top picks, plays, and studs for Philadelphia and Utah, Draftkings and Fanduel. If you already haven't, please subscribe to this channel. If we're worthy, we are worthy. Right today, we got my team playing the Philadelphia 76ers with the Soul Stud of the Day. Directly on top, Joel Embiid, 27. I'm not even going to say what he's going to get. 45%. No, not 45, 46 to 60. 16% chance to get 60 plus fantasy points. 65, 70, 79, 58, 64, 57, 59. Expect a 50 burger from Joel Embiid today. My main man, one of my favorite players. He's on my team. My team is the 76ers. I'm from Philadelphia. 1,300 minutes. I've been to many games. I've met Allen Iverson several times, especially at the casinos where he likes to flock. Sugar House Casino, they call it Rivers now. Harris, Philadelphia. Seen him there. So the Sixers are my team. You know, I've seen a lot of their players. 13% turnover ratio. You know, but one of my main favorite player, I mean, he's the top 5, is Ben Simmons. He's really my favorite player. All right. So he's 9,100 on FanDuel. Okay. 1,900 minutes, 742 shooting attempts, 361 field goals made, 423 rebounds, 400 assists, a 21% turnover ratio. I'm not worried about that. Not worried about his turnover ratio. He is slated to hit 5 times value. He has a 48% chance to get 30 to 45 fantasy points. He's $2,200 or so. He's cheaper than Embiid, let's just say that. He has basically no chance to get 0 to 15 fantasy points. That's not happening. Basically no chance to get 15 to 30 fantasy points. That's not happening. He's going to get 30 to 60 to 77 fantasy points. 30 to 77. Most likely he's going to hit the range of 48, 49, 47, 44, 42. All right. There is a team called Utah today. Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell is a very fine option at 58%, 30 to 45 fantasy points. 42, 40, 44, 40. Okay. Tobias Harris, Bogdanovich. You know, I'm not really crazy about Rudy Gobert today, so I'm not just going with the top guys every day, but he's a good option. Tobias Harris. 4 times value, 28, 31, 41, or if you're lucky, you can get 50. You might hit a 50 out of him, but you're not going much over 50. All right, Jordan Clarkson, he is a good option. 42, 23, 47, 18. Expect one of them, 3 times value, at least 20. He's getting a fantasy point per minute, and he will at least hit 25 fantasy points, so that could help. And then Al Horford's really cheap today. Al Horford is only 5,000. He's only 5,000. He's pretty cheap. 5,800, they say. 6,000 on FanDuel, getting 30 fantasy points a minute. He's a lock. He's the sole sleeper of the day. All right. Here's his field goals. 289 field goals made. 654 field goals attempted with a 9% turnover ratio. That's really damn good. 48, 37, 31. Ooh. And didn't do too good against the Lakers, but shitty teams he smashes. All right, let's quickly go to this video with Charles Barkley for a minute.
And that's why I disagree.
Really powerful conversation with Stephen A. Jay Williams with us, and the great Charles Barkley joins us here with his perspective on all of this. Charles, it's wonderful to see you again, as always. And let's start there. The point that Stephen A. essentially was making was that he disagrees with the NBA players who were saying we must keep our attention on the protests because the protests are a means to an end, and that actually it is about affecting real change when we come out the other side of this, or whatever that is, the way it looks. I'd love to hear your perspective on all of it.
Well, I thought Jay Will was great this morning, and I agree with Stephen A. I think it'll be stupid to not play for two reasons. Number one, if they don't play, they're going to be out of sight, out of mind for the rest of the year. There won't be no cameras following. And, LeBron is probably the most famous athlete in the United States. He won't be visible anywhere. And so us out of sight, out of mind. Also, these guys got to realize this money going to come back, and they're going to lose billions of dollars that the players could use to go into their own communities and do some great stuff. So it's not good on any front. I have no idea what Kyrie and Dwight are talking about, but it'll be a catastrophic mistake not to play.
Jay?
Well, I was going to say this too, Green, to add on to what Chuck was talking about. Like, think about what's one of the biggest vehicles that African Americans have used to attain wealth, right? Michael Jordan became one of the richest players in the world, and he actually owns an NBA team. Like that whole structure is feasible for other NBA players, especially with the earning potential. So if you don't come back and play, and then you jeopardize $1 billion worth of salary leading into next year, the CBA potentially being ripped up, you're also hurting future earnings for a lot of other African Americans who have a chance to deploy those resources in our communities to continue to build on that wealth gap. And I think that's something also that
All right, so
about here.
Barkley has a sorry. Barkley has some good points, and his counterpart, they're saying basically not coming back would hurt the communities rather than helping them. Standing up for your rights is good, but it would actually hurt the community when you just take money from them. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people donate money, help out their communities. All right, so here are some of the low-end guys. Mike Conley is 4K today. 6 times value. 6.5 times value. Wow, Mike Conley is the sole sneaky sleeper of the day. Shake Milton, $1,800. You might get 20 fantasy points. Watch out for Shake Milton, shaking up a 46, 55, 35. Sorry about that. Shake Milton is a very fine option, and he might screw people over. So is Josh Richardson, believe it or not, today. 39% chance to get 30 to 45 fantasy points. All right. Then I would probably avoid most of these guys here. Kyle O'Quinn, even though he has 11 times value, he is not going to get over 11 fantasy points. All right. Neto, he's not going to get anything. Mike Scott's probably just going to get that 12. Getting 0.73 fantasy points a minute, but he doesn't get minutes. No, he doesn't. He's going to get one of these things. It might be a 2, though. You might be like, oh, Mike Scott's kind of cheap. He might get me a 23, 25. You don't want that. You need 30s. 30 bug-us. 30 bug-us. Either Thibault is also not really the best option because you might wind up getting a 1, 2, a 6, 7. Royce O'Neal, 6 times value is a pretty fine option today. If you want to go cheap, go Royce O'Neal or Shake Milton. Go Connolly or go Ingles. And if you're stretching your buck, play Josh Richardson. And if you just want to spend a little bit more and go above Richardson, go with Glenn Robinson. But he might wind up getting you an 11, 9, or 6. He has a 31% chance to do so. But he could also get a 15 to 30. All right, let's just see the usage rate. If we see anything unusual. Sorry about that. All right, so here's our usage rates today. Joel Embiid, 33%. Donovan Mitchell, 31%. Rudy Gobert, only 16%. Ben Simmons, yeah, I'm fading Rudy Gobert completely out after seeing this. He's been getting 40 fantasy points, but he's 10,000, and you can go Simmons, cheaper. You can go Harris, way cheaper. You got 35 fantasy points. Even Bogdanovich might get you 40 fantasy points. So if you want to spend up for the 40 fantasy points, go Rudy Gobert. Because I'm spending all my money on Embiid and hoping for an 80 fantasy point game out of him. And even Donovan Mitchell I'll spend up on. Even though Donovan Mitchell is averaging a little bit less than Rudy Gobert, I'm going, and he's more expensive, and his value is lower. His usage rate's 31% compared to Rudy's 16%. Tobias Harris, 24%. Bogdan 26. Jordan Clarkson's pretty high at 26. Alex Burks 24. Al Horford is very low at 18, as well as Glenn Robinson and Josh Richardson. Joe Ingles as well. Cork Moss. Then Mike Conley's a little bit up there at 23% usage rate. Royce O'Neal is very low at 9%. And Moutier, who I have not touched on, is, believe it or not, a 23% fantasy point usage rate, but I think he's only going to get about 15 fantasy points, but it's still a 6 times value. If you're desperate, play Moutier. All right. So then we go down, and I don't see anything other higher than 20 for the bottom tier, who I would probably avoid. All right, let's go over some lineups today. I'm all on Simmons. I'm all on Embiid. All right. So I'm taking Rudy Gobert out of there, and I'll put Simmons in. All right. So you know who I want. I want Mitchell. So I'll keep Horford in. He is the sole sleeper of the day. All right, and I can just go, bam, look at that. Joel Embiid, Joe Ingles, Simmons, Mitchell, Horford, Moutier. All right, so now let's get our main guys in. So we want Simmons and Mitchell. Go and Robinson the third. And then, all right, we're 6,000 off. All right, do we go Shake Milton to be cheap? And then we could just pop up back to Horford. That's pretty nice. All right, so we got Embiid, Simmons, Mitchell, Robinson, Milton, and Horford. Now, don't worry about rostering too many guys from the same team. As my man Kyle pointed out, players can go off on either team. A team can score 180 points. They can get thousands of rebounds. It doesn't matter. It's not a real game. So if we put Mitchell here, we save 2,000, and we put Embiid here. So if we put Simmons here, obviously we do that. So let me try Richardson. Let me try Tobias Harris. All right, so this one doesn't have Simmons in it, but it has Harris. So it has Tobias Harris. You could put yeah. You're pretty much with Harris. If you want to go Harris here, I wouldn't play Thibault. I wouldn't play Bradley or Quinn. So down here, we don't have much to go off of. Look at these options. The bottom feeders are very bad. So if we go, say we go Alex Burke here, we still can't get Simmons in. We're a little bit off. So maybe if we... Connolly's cheap. So I'm trying to somehow get Simmons in here. Alright. So now we're 1,600 off. So let's see what we can do here. If we go Tobias Harris, Donovan Mitchell. You could do this. You can't go Simmons. But you can try something. You can do this. All right, so here is a mixed up lineup. Simmons, Embiid, Connolly, Royce O'Neal, Donovan Mitchell, and Alex Burke. You're not going to see this lineup. It's going to be rare to see something like that. This is pretty nice all by itself. Joel Embiid is the MVP. Mike Connolly, Alex Burke, Ben Simmons, Al Horford, and either Joe Ingles or Glenn Robinson III. Or you could put Richardson. But in this case, at this time, I would probably put Joe Ingles in. So now we have a couple thousand to spend. You could put Bogdan in. You could put Glenn in there. You could put Mitchell in over Simmons. I would play Mitchell over Simmons, but I would definitely probably try to get those three together somehow. If you can. Alright, so say we just put somebody like this in the captain spot. Can we go hard? We can go hard. Let's see how hard we can go. We can't go too hard. We can. Yeah, we can. Yes, we can. Mike Connolly at the MVP. Joel Embiid, Mitchell, Simmons, Horford, Richardson. Save. Look at this lineup. This is a really nice lineup, guys. But your MVP's weak. So, do you want to stack up on flexes and go a little weak on MVP? That's going to be your decision today, what you're doing in the MVP spot. Don't go too weak with the MVP. So, say I want to go, let's just try Rudy Gobert in MVP. Let's try something a little different. Let's get rid of some of these guys. Let's go Mike Conley. Let's go Donovan Mitchell. All right, now we have a little bit of money to spend up and go Tobias Harris. There, we could go there. We could do this. It's a lot of Utah guys. I'm not advising doing something like this. I'm just showing you something you can do. Right there is really nice. Joel Embiid, MVP, Harris, Mike Conley, Horford, Josh Richardson, and either. No, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna step out on the pike and do that and do this. So there. Oh, look at this. Don't have to go anymore. Look at this. Look at this. Play this, please. I'm begging you. One of you out there, play this. Play this. Joel Embiid is the MVP. Simmons, Mike Conley, Horford, Josh Richardson, and Bogdan. And if you don't like Richardson, go Glenn. If you don't like Horford, you're screwed. No. You can play games. You can play games with your heart. You can do that. Don't go Rudy Gobert over Simmons. Please. Don't just spend that $400. Leave Simmons in there. Leave Embiid in there. All right. If you already haven't, please subscribe to this channel. All right. I'll be on the plane for a couple days. So hit me up in a few days. I'll be coming to Philadelphia. And we'll have more action and very high-tech videos. So, Soul Fan Shows.